What is good, Shapes folks? Did you do your homework? Remember last time? The homework? You were looking around, oh god! I'm having that dream again. Can you make... How? I mean the answer is yes. How do you make a checkerboard pattern shape when you can only split it in half at any one time? I had a look. I went into the lab. Quite easily, really, in the end. The trick is to realise that these two need to swap around. So because you can only cut it in half, that means that you need to split it, like, this way once, and this way once, or swap the halves, I should say. So if you split it, if you split these three pieces out, and then you swap them with these three pieces, then these two pieces have only changed the once, but these two pieces have changed twice, so they go back to their original position. And as such, it's quite easy to get the checkerboard thing done, and you can do it in a single layer, and it's all quite simple. So in the time it took me to work that out, a lot of other milestones and tasks were done. So that one's sorted, these are all sorted, that's good. Hooray! Which gives us loads of research points. Now we can finally unlock the Half Destroyer. Finally. And we can look at some more things. Unfortunately we need to build this monstrosity up here to make any further progress. And also we need to integrate that with the yellow teardrops that we're already making anyway. So let me do some quick design work. And we'll take it from there. Okay, starting to look a bit like an actual factory made by somebody who kind of knows what they're doing, almost. So whipped up some designs there, while time was stopped. This is the one we had before. Just going to throw away the halves of this. I thought a good place to start would be turning entire shapes into thirds. So I used the half splitter. At one point I had the cutter in and I was repurposing the leftover thirds. Because what you've got to remember with hexagons is that it's very awkward all of the time. So you can see, if I press P to pause it at just the right moment, you can see on these ones we lose one chevron. We could match those up, but I don't think it's hugely important, mostly because I want to try and maintain some sort of ratio here. So each belt of this goes into one of these, which can process, in theory, 4 process on a belt, right? But then that turns one shape. This can process a quarter of a belt, but because we're getting 2 shapes out of it at the end, it's going to output onto half a belt. So 2 belts in, 2 belts out, like this should be numbers. This is a bit backed up, but that's because it's got a long way to travel before it gets to the next stage. So I think the ratios add up here. The other important thing is that I want everything to be on one level. If I do try and repurpose the wastage for later batches, that's going to involve stackers and things. The beauty of doing something like this is that even though there is wastage, it goes on one level, so it's very easy to then just put that on the second and then eventually the third layer when we unlock that. So ultimately the throughput is higher because we can get 3 layers of this. Is this... I thought my mental math here checked out, which, you know, like, you should know me by now. Famous last words, right? You need 4 of these for a belt. So that means, by definition, each one of these is using a quarter of a belt. But that means it's outputting half a belt, because we're using both halves of the output onto this. So, explain to me... So now that I've split it into 2, there's obvious gaps. 2/3 of a belt, is it? That wouldn't make any sense at all. Whatever, just put it back. Hope for the best. That goes all the way around here on these fancy space belts. To meet up with these guys. And what we can also do is we can repurpose the umbrella, what I'm calling the umbrella design, the checkerboard design. Oh no, wait, no, this is something else. Sorry. We can repurpose the cutting in much the same way, because actually how we cut this, what we end up losing here are 2 sixths that are next to each other. So 2 sixths of the hexagon that are next to each other. So if you imagine we're mining this shape, and what we need is we need this shape. The way we're cutting it anyway means that we are naturally getting... Oh, that's not even the right shape. Oh no, I need... which shape do I need? I need this shape. That's what I meant to say. This shape. The way we're cutting it means that we're getting... Here, we're getting the 2 opposite sides. The sides that you can't get through rotation, right? So there's no way to turn this bit into this bit with just rotation because they're mirror image of each other. But then that means that if you... The way that we're cutting this shape, the piece that we're getting rid of, if we glue what we're ending up with back together, we're removing a third. So we are taking... We're taking this shape and we are in fact removing... the reds end up on the edges though, so we're removing one red bit and one white bit, uncoloured bit, but it's just a case of working out exactly which bit that is that we're removing and reordering. So that bit goes, that bit goes, but then that bit comes back. Game's in early access, folks, don't forget. It's complicated, but that's the nature of the hexagons. And this isn't very efficient throughput-wise for various reasons. I think because the stacker is very slow in comparison to this. So you actually need 6 stackers. Have I got the bent stacker yet? I do have the bent stacker. I've never really experimented with the bent stacker. This is maybe the exact time to use the bent stacker for this exact purpose. So the bent stacker works... Ooh, how's this go? Let's do it like this, shall we? Now, of course, we'll have the problem where we won't be able to layer this onto 3 layers, but you have that problem anyway with squares, right? Like, the stacker by definition, you can put stackers on the first layer or the second layer, but you can't put them on the third layer because you would need a 4th layer then to build into. So that's slightly better. Let's copy this, flip it, flip reverse it, show my age there. So that'd be a bit better, and then we just pair all those up. So yeah, so this is the essence, really. I know we're 4 episodes into this now. We probably should have done a better job. This is going to be the essence of this playthrough, is that we're going to design things like this that will just do a job for us. And then once we've worked out how to design that and do that job for us, so like by the same token, I did do the half swapping for umbrellas. I'll put it down and spend the blueprint points because I can already Control Z it. So it doesn't matter what shape we get in here. It will perfectly swap. So this will be very useful for this pattern, for example. So we can just bring in FU, FG, FU, FG. Whoa, alright mate, slow down. So we can just bring in this, this, and that design will naturally just swap around the 2 pieces that we need to be swapped around. So we've just sort of solved that problem now. So we don't have to ever panic. Anytime we see something like this, we don't have to ever be like, oh no! You know? I mean, maybe. Kind of don't really want to show me that pattern again for a little while, do they? It's kind of like, yeah, you've solved that now. Jog on. It'll probably be in the real milestones, right? The tasks, of course, are very complicated in comparison. The milestones are relatively simple. Like, even this is just, you know, one shape, one colour and some pins. It's like, fine, easy life. Okay. So, throughput for this is obviously a problem. I'm not worried too much about building big. I need to Control Z that, get my blueprint points back. I'm not worried too much about building big for now. Once we get a decent supply of blueprint points incoming and we unlock the third layer, which admittedly is a little bit far away. Once we've got the third layer, then platforms will be as big as they can ever be, so we can start doing really silly things, you know? Like, for my squares playthrough, I've got a full colour mining setup here where you have 3 belts. You have 3 mining platforms that output onto 3 different layers that go onto a space belt. And then you just use that somewhere else. The game doesn't really expect you to do this too early on, which is why none of these... Oh, that one just about goes. That's fluid mining anyway, and I haven't got that unlocked, so... For now, I'm perfectly content to just have this go fairly slowly, I suppose. There's nothing stopping us also from, if we find something is exceedingly painful, like I've been rambling on here now for several minutes and this is going quite slowly, it might be worth maybe just making this design use 4 belts instead. Because clearly... Oh, that would have helped, wouldn't it? Because clearly this is still not keeping up for whatever reason. This is 4 of these, so this uses a quarter... Ah, it's because I'm only using half a belt, because this is a cutter, not a half splitter. Yeah, it's probably worth redesigning this to actually use a full belt on each side. Which is easily done. It's only 4 wide, and... Ah, we can do that now, in fact. Let's just quickly do that now. Let's show you. It's only 4 wide. It's annoying to have to use all these blueprint points for essentially nothing, but... Oh no, it doesn't fit! Oh no! Control Z. Control Y. Alright, well, I'll just leave it. Just leave it. I'll redesign it onto a bigger platform. Just so that we can use 4 belts and get... Or at least 2 belts for now. 2 belts seems to be what I'm aiming for. So I'll leave this going. And I might use my newfound space and time and designs to start thinking about getting blueprints sorted. Especially because we have a way to get blue stars out on its own. And we have a way to take a third out of the blue stars quite easily with this module. All we would then need is a third of the triangles and just glue that together. That shouldn't be too much of a problem, and then we can start building up some blueprint points, even though I've not really spent that many, but we are going to definitely spend a lot more in the future, so... Cool, alright, give me a minute then. Give me a minute. Okay, blueprint shapes are sort of being made. So we're redoing this just because it's what I've got for now. Just throw the white half of it away. I realise I could have just done a half destroyer for this and done something else, but as I say, I have this in the bank already, so I may as well use it. And then use our newfangled remove a third machine to remove a third of that shape. Bring that in. Thankfully, just over here, there is this, which is quite lucky. Maybe it's lucky, I don't know how the map generation works. And I'll just bring those in and cut it into half and slap it back together. So we got some blueprint shapes coming in, which is good, because I was getting a bit willy-nilly with pasting stuff down. This will process... I've expanded the build a destroy a third thing over to this, and then this will have room to... Currently 2 belts in and 1 belt out, but that's just because we're limited by the speed of these, but eventually I will just squeeze this in here and squeeze this in here. And that will still be 2 belts in, but that will now be 4 belts out, which is a bit better. I couldn't find a way to make it look any better than this, just in the short amount of time that I was willing to spend on it. So these are still being done very slowly, but at least this should be quicker now. Could do with more of these, really. That seems to be the bottleneck for the moment. But anyway. And then there were some simple tasks going on here. Now I realise with this one, they probably expect you to use the half swapper. That would be a lot easier than splitting it, merging it, stacking it. But again, this is what I have. I already have one of these, so I may as well use it. And also, the next step involves putting half a red one on top anyway, so we may as well just do that, because then now that we've done the first half of it, all we actually need to do now is use... So we still need 6 stackers. I don't think we're going to get 6 stackers out of this, but you know what we say around here. Enemy of perfect is good. No, the enemy of good is... Yeah, what did I say? I don't know. The enemy of perfect is good. Just has to be good, alright? Just get it to work. Sorry, you can tell that my brain is fried. Mostly, if you want me to explain it to you, it's because the shapes, I can't do different save files in the same way I can with the Factoria series. So with the broadcasts from Factoria, this is going to stack on the right, doesn't matter what side of the shape it stacks on, no. With the broadcasts from Factoria, I was able to do what I needed to do, make a save file, carry on. Do what I need to do, make a save file, carry on. And then after like maybe 10-15 hours of gameplay, I would record an episode. And it was quite easy for me to think about what I did and how I did it. This, I can't do that, because when you make a save, you just make a save. That's it. So I'm doing these live, quasi-live. Now obviously I'm still using the pausing and the transitions and stuff just to remove some of the really tedious things and the stuff where I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to do this, so let me work it out for 20 minutes and I'll get back to you. But yeah, what I really should do is probably learn some video editing. Ha ha ha. So these would be making this shape at least. Cash this bad boy in. Another 2 here, another 6 here. That will be very easy, obviously. We'll just get rid of these cutters and be done with it. Blueprints are ticking up. This seems to have stalled. Is it now suddenly the wrong shape? I bet it's the wrong shape. Yeah, I was going to say, because I changed this, I bet it's now the wrong shape. Ah, the embarrassment. How did I not notice that? So these are... It's because they're now coming in... This is north to south. How has this happened? How was I cutting it before? Oh no! Yeah, so because they were being mined, I rotated this, is what's happened. So, oh no. So if I have one of these and it's mining this way, it's coming out like this, which is why these were here, and because I just did a copy and paste, that means they were actually entering this module if everything was north to south with the red on the right hand side, which is how this is anyway. So what has happened? I've forgotten a rotator somewhere, haven't I? Have I? Oh dear. Well, thankfully, the game has some very nice functionality for you where you can just put a rotator down and it shows you what's gone wrong. Yeah, so that is the shape that we actually want. How did I miss that? Was that just here at the beginning and I just forgot to put it down? Like this. But now this one... Oh no, that's because that's still the old one. Okay, alright, okay, fine. See, this would never have happened in Broadcast on Factorio, would it? Well, that just goes to show you that it's a lot of not trial and error. I want to say it's trial and error. That makes it sound like nobody knows what's going on. People do know what's going on, just not me. Just, you know, not that bright. So these use the two right-hand space belts, so the left ones get clogged. So that's how you can split a space belt without having to worry too much about what's going on. And then we'll output this way. Okay, well we fixed it. This one was working and now it's stopped working. It's backed up. Because we only use one half of the red shapes. Yeah. Man, it's all going wrong today, isn't it? We need two lots of red shapes for every... We need two red shapes for every one white shape, so really we should just throw these away. That will solve the problem in the short term. Again, we don't need to over-design this because we need to be aware of things like that in the future, of course we do, but once these pinned tasks are done, then we just get rid of the whole thing and cash in the research points. I don't know whether I want to save for the third floor very quickly or whether it might be worth spending 21 research points on just making everything go a bit faster, because we're looking at the size of these numbers. Sorry, the wind is blowing through the nice cool breeze, but wind, give it a rest. These numbers are getting quite large. Don't forget that in challenge modes, it doesn't tell you that it's in challenge mode, but you can see that from the blueprint points. The milestones and the tasks all have 50% more as well. So faster machines is definitely a boon. And that will also have a knock-on effect with the speed of blueprints being delivered. So, yeah. Right, this is catching up with itself now, very slowly. Yeah, this certainly needs to be faster. That's because the thirds machine is not processing as much as it can do. So this could also do with being expanded. So let me speed up milestone 3's progress and finish these pinned tasks here. Can we talk about how good the music is? I also have Shapes 1, so some of this is from Shapes 1, but I didn't play with the music on very much in Shapes 1. I didn't play with the music on for this very much. I just have my own music on a lot of the time. But obviously I can't do that on YouTube, can I? I'll get arrested and thrown in jail these days. Play your own music, you get arrested and thrown in jail. These days, anyway. So, this task here, thankfully it was very easy because this exact shape was here. Again, I don't know whether that's lucky or whether the map generation just gives you the first shapes near the base. I'd have to start a couple of save files and see. I'm pretty sure it does just give you the shapes, right? So I thought we'd go big now. Time to start going big. 4 lanes. This was 8. The other one was 1200. This was 1200. This is 1800. So 4 lanes. So now this goes into this So I've done a simple module for rotating. So I'll save this, and then I can rotate this any which way I want, right? Providing I leave these two belts here of space, I can either rotate it 60 degrees counterclockwise or clockwise, 120 degrees either way, 180 degrees. And that's it. Those are the only rotations you need. So I'll save this as a blueprint. Also, it's only on one floor, of course, so we can stack this up as well. So we'll save this in the hexagonal playthrough thing. Rotating. Ness. No, let's be serious. Come on, serious game. This one is no, sorry, not rotating at all. This is half destroying. I got distracted. Oh no, hexagonal playthrough. And I already saved it. God, what am I like? This one is the rotating one. So if we ever need to rotate something, we can do that here. I didn't leave much space. So this was, all in all, this was a disaster and a waste of time. Go away. Anyway, and so then this goes on to the stacker. So this will actually use 4 full belts of input from both sides and stack them. Press V to hide the upper floors. So I think rotating is more important in hexagonals. In squares it was kind of, you know, you just sort of get away with it. In hexagons it's more important because there are 6 permutations as opposed to just 4. 6 is bigger than 4. Fact. Okay, so then this is outputting mostly correctly. Why is one of them not doing anything, I wonder? Whoa, it's got a long way to go. Okay, this isn't doing anything because of reasons. Oh, it's outputting onto the second floor. That's all well and good later. Although not with the stacker. The stacker kind of makes things a bit more awkward. Because when you've only got 2 floors, you can't put a stacker on the second floor. When you've got a 3rd floor, you can, but then you can't put it on a 3rd floor. So you're better off just making the stacker designs flat. So you could do in a stacker with all 12 belts of input, when eventually we can have these 4 here, and these 4 here, and the next 4 on the 3rd layer. Ended up being something like this, shape stacking. Really happy with this. It's a shame you can't really see it because I can't afford the blueprint yet, but stacking is at least the one thing that won't ever change, regardless of how much they do. Okay. So that's probably about it for today. We'll just let this tick over. Look at the speed of this one now. This is what we need. This is only 3 of the belts as well. I haven't thought this far ahead yet. It's red triangles. We can get that from somewhere. And also, I've just gotten the teardrops ready here. The yellow teardrops ready for when this comes in. These are coming in at a decent pace now as well, because I made this all more efficient. So this does the 4 belts of this now. So 2 belts in, 4 belts out, because it's using 2/3 of the shape. That might be an experiment for later to use all... My issue with using all 3/3 of the shape is that it makes your belt ratios odd, right? You'd have to have only 3 belts of input, because then... sorry, no, if you did 4 belts of input and you each use 1/3... Oh no, maybe it would be okay. Yeah, maybe that would work, actually. I don't know why I thought that would be odd. So this is going very quickly now. Sped all this up. It's good. We're getting somewhere. I feel like we're actually getting somewhere. I feel like the last episode was a real head scratcher for me. Today, progress is being made. Cool. Right, so let's unlock this. We've got enough research points for... Let's do the double check the maths this time. 7 plus 7 is 8, 9, 14, 21. So providing I only click these 3 buttons, we're good. And we'll get another 25% speed boost on everything. We should also make these go a lot faster. But they're all good now, so I'll save that for next time. You're finished. Goodbye. And goodbye to you. If you enjoyed, please let me know with a like or a comment, and if you want to see more shapes, be sure to subscribe. Thank you for all the support so far on the first few videos. I'm going to try and bust these out at a bit of a quicker pace, because as I say, I'm having to play the game and record at the same time, and while I've got that shapes itch going, it's quite easy for me to just... I mean, this recording is half an hour, but I probably played for about an hour while I was designing and leaving things going in the background to actually show you interesting things. Anyway, that's enough rambling from me. Take care, thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.